This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Thursday, the new Friday, January 19th, and today's pod is the best one yet. It's a T-Boy.
It's Thursday, the new Friday.
Jack, can you tell me what you just saw on the Lululemon website, my friend?
Remember those discounts we told you about? 40% of Lululemon's website is on sale.
The discounting death spiral of death? I remember it well.
They don't call it on sale.
No, they don't.
They have a section of their website called We Made Too Much.
Lululemon made too much stuff and now has a website section called We Made Too Much Stuff.
It's the most honest promotion we've ever heard.
Lulu, we respect the transparency. Own it. Love it.
You made a mistake. We're going to benefit from it.
So, Jack, what's the first story for today's pod?
If you go to the University of Texas or to Auburn, then you cannot TikTok.
Because TikTok is getting shadow banned on quads and campuses across the country.
For our second story, Party City just had a record year for balloon sales, but it also just filed bankruptcy.
Because balloons are like onions. They have layers.
And our third and final story, you're gonna see a lot of headlines today about the debt ceiling crisis.
Because the debt ceiling expires today.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories.
Fantastic mix, Jack. I love this mix. Great mix.
Monday's episode of Hoarder's Almanac, we opened up to page 153, eggflation.
Eggflation. Yetis, the omelets, they're getting out of control.
Egg prices are up 60% compared to last year. That's higher eggflation than any other food.
But Jack and I got to stop right there because Jack and I want to apologize.
On Monday, we were part of the problem.
We were.
But we should be part of the solution.
We told you about the problem, but we should have told you about the solution.
The problem is that chicken egg prices have surged.
But Jack, key word there, chicken.
The solution may be eggs not from chickens.
Jack, are you trying to say what I think you're trying to say, what we were just talking about saying, my friend? What's the solution?
Alternative bird eggs.
Because besties, chickens don't have a monopoly on laying eggs last time we checked.
No, they don't. And if a dozen eggs cost you $7, maybe we should stop putting all our eggs in one basket. Literally.
Yetis, Jack and I jumped in T-Boy style. Turns out there are plenty of other egg-hatching poultry out there for us to indulge in.
Have you tried duck eggs?
It's a bigger egg, but it's the same price as it used to be.
I'm not a badger, but have you tried a pheasant egg, Nick?
Well, Jack, that's a fancy egg, but it's also the same price as it used to be.
What about quail eggs?
Jack, I had 2 on my avocado toast last weekend. They were small, but they were delightful, and they were the same price.
You sent me a picture. The yolk was perfectly cooked. A little runny, but not too runny.
You want to hit that lava vibe with your egg yolk.
But the best deal in town, maybe the biggest deal in town.
Yetis, the best deal in town when it comes to eggs may be an egg that you physically cannot handle.
Enter the 9-foot-tall flightless ostrich, whose eggs are an economic miracle.
Okay, it turns out the ostrich egg is 20 times the price of a chicken egg, which sounds expensive.
But its size is 24 times bigger than a chicken egg, so that sounds like a deal.
So, Jack, if you're feeding a family of 9, this is the perfect egg for you.
The ostrich egg is good for a family of at least a dozen.
The ostrich egg is literally the most cost-effective yolk out there.
So the solution to this eggflation problem.
What is it, Jack?
Alternative eggs.
Yes.
Eggstitutes.
And all of it tastes like chicken.
It all tastes like chicken.
Let's flip our 3 stories.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at-list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, out of absolutely nowhere, a TikTok ban is spreading across America's public universities.
The only thing more popular than TikTok right now is TikTok bans.
Oh, Jack, can we go back in time? Let's go back to November 3rd, last year. What was the title of our podcast then?
Our podcast was titled, Should TikTok Be Banned?
Should TikTok be banned? Jack and I jumped in T-Boy style. We were illustrating the core argument for banning TikTok, the fundamental point.
And that core argument is the Trojan horse argument.
The Trojan horse argument. The idea is that now that TikTok is on all of our American phones, the Chinese government can pretty easily spy on us like it's been a Trojan horse.
Or they can tweak the algorithm to subtly feed Americans propaganda in that For You page.
Well, since then, the federal government has not announced a TikTok ban. And since then, the federal government has not forced TikTok to be sold.
But something has happened.
And Jack, what has happened to TikTok in the United States?
25 of these United States have banned TikTok at the state level. Specifically, they've banned the use of TikTok on government-issued devices.
Now, Yetis, here's the funny thing Jack and I noticed about half of these United States banning TikTok. Those bans don't just affect people who work at the DMV or work at the fire department.
No, they don't just affect state employees.
No. This is the funny thing. Those state bans affect TikTok's number one prime customer, college students.
War Eagle. Let's go down south to Auburn, a public university in Alabama.
Go fighting tigers.
Guess what? Alabama, the state, banned TikTok on government devices there.
Well, the president of Auburn University in the state of Alabama decided that ban also applies to Auburn's college Wi-Fi network.
You know what that means?
Talk to me, Jack. What's going on now?
If you are logged into Auburn's university Wi-Fi anywhere on campus, then you can't use the TikTok app.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'm just sitting here trying to study for my stats exam in the Ralph Brown Library right on the center of the Auburn campus, and I can't access TikTok.
Well, if you open up your TikTok app, the app is going to say, no connection.
Yetis, if you try to TikTok on the quad of Auburn using Wi-Fi, you're not going to be able to do it. Sorry, Abby the Tiger.
If you're just trying to watch one of those get ready with me TikTok videos before the Kappa Kappa Sig formal.
Which you look fantastic for, by the way. You don't need to put on that extra blouse.
No videos are going to load in the app.
Now, of course, we should point out Auburn Tigers can get around this TikTok ban by just turning off their Wi-Fi. They could just use their cell service.
Yeah, AT&T and Verizon, they're not listening to these TikTok bans.
However, TikTok's number one customer, college students, just got a taste of life without TikTok videos in it.
Oh, update? Last second update from Longhorn Country, Nick.
Hook 'em horns, Jack. What's the update?
The University of Texas in Austin, one of the biggest universities in the country, just joined this banned TikTok trend on their university Wi-Fi.
I've got an update to your update. Did you hear what's going on over at Arkansas State University?
Did you hear what's going on at the Blue Turf at Boise State?
Both those schools just banned TikTok yesterday.
What's next? The whole SEC?
What's after that? The Rose Bowl?
Nick, what about Bobby Boucher down at SCLSU?
Don't even get me started on the Mud Dogs, Jack. So what's the takeaway for our buddies over at TikTok?
The only thing more popular than TikTok is TikTok bans.
Hey, Aristotle, we don't want to get all philosophical on you, but Jack and I believe that two seemingly contradictory things can actually be true at the same time.
For instance, TikTok can be the most popular app in the United States.
Yes, it can.
And banning TikTok can be the most popular issue in the United States.
Yes, it can. Because Yetis, politically, Jack and I have just never seen such broad bipartisan support as with a TikTok ban.
Democrats, Republicans, the CIA, the FBI, state governors, and now universities. Add up all these state and university bans, and the ultimate ban becomes more likely, a federal ban.
Yetis, all these smaller bans give the federal government cover to do the one big final ban.
Because the only thing more popular than TikTok right now is TikTok bans.
For our second story, America's largest party store, Party City, just filed for bankruptcy.
Balloons. Balloons kept Party City's business afloat.
Yeah, literally.
But it's run out of gas. Literally.
Literally. All right, Jack, for my birthday this weekend, there is kind of one little surprise that I would like. I just want to throw this out there if you're curious, if you want to get me something.
4 balloons, TBOY.
I want a bouquet of balloons. You can get like a bouquet, like a giant thing of like a whole bunch of balloons.
Well, Nick, unfortunately, we have a hoarder's almanac situation with balloons.
We do, because Yetis, 2022, it was the year of the revenge party.
It was a good year for Party City, the largest and only party retailer in the United States.
Get this, balloon sales over at Party City, just the balloon sales jumped 62% from before the pandemic.
In fact, balloons are existential for Party City.
We're talking latex, metallic, 1-color, 2-color, 3-color, multicolor, panda-shaped, you name it. That balloon, they're selling that balloon, and they depend on that balloon.
This is what the CEO says about balloons. Balloons are our focus, our key driver of our differentiated brand experience.
Jack and I jumped in T-Boy style. The two biggest acquisitions Party City has ever made, they were for a balloon company in the U.S. and a balloon company in Mexico.
I quote again from the management, "It's a strategic priority. Balloons are the focal point of each store."
Now, Yetis, just as you're getting sad for the fact that I probably can't get balloons this weekend for my birthday, you're probably shocked by the big news from Party City.
Party City declared bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy. And the stock of Party City has now fallen to a very unfun 37 cents.
That is not a celebratory price.
Because despite all those avocado-shaped panda balloon parties out there, Party City lost $200 million last year.
And that's a big problem because Party City has $1.7 billion of debt that they can't repay.
But Yetis, here's what Jack and I were fascinated about with this story. Balloons are like onions.
They have layers.
Because the problem for Party City isn't the balloon, it's what's in the balloon.
On their last earnings call, which was their last earnings call.
Yeah, potentially ever. Literally.
The word balloon was uttered 8 times. The word helium?
Yes, Jack?
It was uttered 19 times in the earnings call.
Okay, Jack and I went in further, and we noticed that a majority of the analyst questions on their Party City earnings call were specifically about helium.
Because Party City isn't really a retail company or a party company. It's an energy company.
It turns out Party City needs helium like Delta needs jet fuel.
And if you look at the periodic table,
I'm checking it now, Jack.
you'll see that on Earth, helium is a finite, scarce resource. And for 4 years, Party City has struggled from a shortage of helium supplies.
Yeah, because the U.S. government figures it's better to save helium for, medical uses than to let you inhale it so you can sound like a chipmunk.
I was always afraid to do that, by the way. I never successfully pulled that off as a kid.
A little part of your head is always wondering, what if this is permanent?
I heard it kills brain cells to inhale helium.
That's what Mrs. Chores told me in 2nd grade, and honestly, it scared me ever since too, Jack.
Now we know what you're thinking, Yetis. Why doesn't Party City just inflate their balloons with hydrogen instead, like the Hindenburg did?
Why isn't Party City just find itself a different gas that's a lot of fun as well?
Well, because hydrogen is highly flammable. Helium is the unique only gas that safely floats balloons, and there's just not enough.
Party City has thought of this, and they've literally said, we will only use helium because it just floats perfectly.
And the constant 4-year-long shortage of helium has put Party City's profit puppy at a risk.
Adam, can we helium this?
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Party City?
Maybe that works.
It works beautifully. Are you kidding? That's fantastic.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Party City?
Keystone Products can build a company or can break it down.
Yetis, if you study architecture, you get to know about keystones. Keystones, which are literally keystones.
Look at the Brooklyn Bridge, okay, Nick?
Oh, the Brooklyn Bridge.
There are 2 arches on each tower of the Brooklyn Bridge, and at the top of those arches sits a keystone. It's the crucial stone that keeps the arches of the bridge
I
together.
love that book. Well, balloons were Party City's keystone product, the one critical piece that held up the rest of the business.
Customers come to Party City for the balloons, but they left with streamers, plates, candles, cups, and a cake cutter, too.
But here's the problem. If Party City is out of helium, then you aren't shopping there for your Party City party needs.
Because helium was the only product at Party City that you can't just order on Amazon instead.
Party City faced a lot of issues, but failure to consistently deliver helium balloons broke Party City.
You can build a strong business on one keystone product like helium-inflated balloons.
But if that keystone product breaks, then the whole building falls apart.
Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
You can do just about anything from your phone, but some industries, they've just been slow to
The
move.
finance industry was slow to move from phone to computer, and then from computer to app.
Robinhood wasn't. It's the Silicon Valley-based brokerage that's been updating apps since it was born in 2015.
Using the Robinhood app for your stocks and crypto is almost as easy as downloading it.
So you can invest at your pace on your terms by downloading the Robinhood app.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Stocks are offered by Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto.
All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned by or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood. For our third and final story, later today, the United States is going to get hit by the debt ceiling.
Well, we're going to hit our heads on the debt ceiling that we built.
It's going to hurt.
Everyone is afraid of the debt ceiling.
Yes, we are.
But we created the debt ceiling.
Yeah, we did.
Do we even need the debt ceiling? Are you flabbergasted?
I'm shocked. But Jack, I've noticed we've mentioned architecture a few times on today's podcast. Can we talk about the financial architecture of the country? In 1917, Yetis, the United States Congress created the debt ceiling.
The debt ceiling is a cap on government borrowing money.
Yeah, basically, Congress gave the president authority to issue debt in order to pay back the government's bills, our IOUs.
But only up to a limit that they set every once in a while. And that limit is known by its visual architectural name, the debt ceiling.
But for 22 years, we have spent more as a country than we have, so we need to raise more money.
That's why since 1960, Congress has raised the debt ceiling. They've raised it a bunch of times. In fact, the debt ceiling has been increased 78 times since 1960, so we can keep paying back our IOUs.
In fact, Jack, our very first newsletter that we wrote before launching this podcast back in 2011, do you remember what that was on?
It was stressful. It was on the debt ceiling crisis.
Now, 2011, the debt ceiling drama of 2011, that wasn't the first debt ceiling, but it was the first time the debt ceiling became a political weapon.
Back then, a Republican Congress would only raise the debt limit if the Democratic president agreed to their spending cuts.
Yeah, Congress basically threatened to let the United States default on the money we owe, and the debt ceiling became a political bargaining chip.
Sound familiar? That is the exact scenario we have today. It's the same scenario as back in 2011.
Literally, we have a Republican Congress asking a Democratic president to cut spending, or it's going to let the United States default on the money we owe. Same situation.
By the way, other countries don't even have a debt ceiling. If Congress wants to control spending, they just spend less.
But we in the United States, we do have a debt ceiling, and it's become a self-destructive political weapon.
All right, let's look at the clock. How much room is above our heads until we knock into this debt ceiling?
Jack, I'm looking at the clock right now, and it looks like we have no time, zero time until we hit the debt ceiling.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is the one who's keeping watch on this, and she says we hit the debt ceiling today.
Now, the Treasury says they can buy us like 5 to 6 months of time by doing some financial gymnastics, but in the meantime, it's not that pretty.
We're bumping up against the debt ceiling.
Yeah. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over in the United States? All of us.
The debt ceiling is why the United States is not a AAA country.
Yetis, that time when we almost pushed the default button in 2011, there was a repercussion. The United States got its first ever credit downgrade.
Yep, that was in 2011. Since 2011, we have lost our shine. United States debt is rated AA+, not the gold standard AAA like we always were.
And Jack, what did the credit rating agencies blame that downgrade on?
They cited political brinksmanship and unpredictability in Washington.
Yeah, they said the U.S. isn't as likely to pay back our IOUs because of our political dysfunction.
Oh, and what happened on Wall Street back in 2011?
Well, Jack, in the 2 weeks around that debt ceiling drama 12 years ago, stocks fell 11%.
11% stock drop. It was a downright crisis.
So, besties, expect stock markets to be a bit nervous about this debt ceiling drama over the next few months.
The debt ceiling. It's why the U.S. lost its AAA shine.
Jack, can you whip up the takeaways for us for the new Friday?
In 25 states, TikTok is banned from public university Wi-Fi.
TikTok, it's the most popular app, and banning TikTok is the most popular issue.
For our second story, Party City just declared bankruptcy after 4 years of helium shortages.
Keystone Products, they can build up a company or they can break it down.
And our third and final story, the United States hits the debt ceiling today. We're now at risk of defaulting on our debt.
The debt ceiling. It's why the U.S. lost its AAA rating. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Savannah Westwood from lovely Orlando, Florida.
If you add up all the major fast food chains.
All right, talk to me. What kind of chains, Jack? What are you thinking?
McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Starbucks. Toss in Walmart, too.
Why not? Let's throw in Walmart, too.
If you add up all those fast food chains plus Walmart, the number of locations is less than the number of storage facilities in the United States.
We repeat, there are more storage unit facilities in the U.S. than there are McDonald's, Burger King, Starbucks, Wendy's, and Walmart's combined.
We have 50,000 storage complexes in this country. We love our things.
We do.
We hoard our things.
What's the takeaway here, Jack?
Lululemon made too much stuff.
Uh-huh.
We already have too much stuff. Sorry, Lululemon.
We got way too much stuff. Yetis, you look fantastic for the new Friday. And if you want to get this pod every day, you can click to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods. We'll pop up every day.
And Nick and I will be there tomorrow for the best one yet.
Yes, we will.
Nick and I will see you tomorrow.
Can't wait. And before we go, happy 32nd birthday to Yeti Samir B down in Dallas.
And happy birthday to Claytus Rogers in Baytown, Texas.
And happy birthday to Dolly Parton down in Tennessee.
And congratulations to Jessica Allred, who just passed her CompTIA security exam in Oregon.
You want to stay out of Jessica Allred's way.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-Boy. This is Jack. I own stock of Amazon, and Nick and I both own stock of Lululemon and Robinhood. Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
Jack, rule number 1 about a kitchen renovation, tell your friends about your kitchen renovation.
We know the cabinets are expensive.
Well, in the pandemic, a lot of companies renovated their businesses, focusing on apps and digital.
Robinhood didn't have to. It was built digital from the start.
Robinhood's mobile-first and intuitive design makes investing a little easier for every stage of your investing journey.
Whether you want to trade options, ETFs, or stocks through Robinhood Financial, or buy some Bitcoin on Robinhood Crypto, you can do all that right on the Robinhood app.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned by or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood.
Oh, T-Boy Podcast is the best podcast out there, according to TikTok. Sorry, that's stupid. Cut Nick's stupid line.